Yo, what is up guys? And we are back for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And in this video today, I want to talk about the EZAs that are going to be coming during the worldwide download, aka the 350 million download celebration. So these five, obviously minus Namit Goku, are actually confirmed getting EZAs according to the V-Jump scan, right? So the Ginyu Force will be getting their EZAs. And my guess, my educated guess, I have no other, evidence than that, probably these two will get their EZAs as well. So what I want to do in this video is definitely want to go over those 7 units. And then I want to go ahead and go over some other potential EZAs that I think we could be getting. So let's go ahead and go over them now. So real quick, we'll go ahead and start with Captain Ginyu here. So Captain Ginyu, keep in mind with all of these units, with all of the Ginyu Force TURs that is, their stats are low, even by, free-to-play TUR. I mean, they are old units, right? They came out during the 2nd year anniversary. They're old, right? They're 4 years old, almost 5 years old on the JP side of the game. And remember, this is a dual JP and global celebration. I think that they're going to need to do a lot. So keep in mind Ginyu, just taking Ginyu as an example. His attack stat's going to be right up around, 13.5, maybe close to 14,000. Defensive stat will be over 10,000. HP, less relevant, but his HP will be, around the same as his attack, as you can see, right? So those numbers are relatively set in stone. There actually is a calculator you can go and find on the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle wiki. So let's go ahead and go over what they can do to these cards. Now, my guess is their leader skill is going to be the all-encompassing Key 3 77%, right? That's usually what they do with these free-to-play TURs that then get EZAs. So I think that probably it'll be 3 Key, 77% to, hey, guess what, Ginyu Force. And then maybe he'll keep this int leader skill as well. Maybe up to, 90%. No, not 90%, excuse me. Free to play, right? Maybe 50%. Or you could just say int types Key 3 77%. It doesn't really matter a lot, right? You're rarely going to run these guys as leaders, I would guess. So attack. Raises attack, causes supreme damage. So I think clearly he needs to do something with his defense on super attack. Let's have him raise attack and defense. So he'll just be infinitely stacking attack and defense. I think that that's a pretty good choice for him. Also, a quick reminder that these guys all have their own orbs. So as you can see, their potential system is a little whack. Just a little bit whack. This guy's passive is actually, it's not good by any means, but it actually is still relatively useful. He reduces damage by 50% when facing 2 or more enemies, and then he's getting Key 3 attack and defense 70% when facing only 1 enemy. So he's giving himself 3 Key when you're up against 1 enemy. Pretty good, right? So he needs to keep that Key plus 3, and I'm telling you, I know that this is going to seem very high, but I think it needs to be like Key 3 attack and defense 180%. I know that seems high. But just keep in mind, man, keep in mind number 1 power creep, keep in mind their low stats. It's like you look at like STR Demon King Piccolo. He's attack and defense 200%, but he can barely output a 2 million attack stat. Why? Because his stats are low. So I think along with him raising attack and defense and then giving him that much extra attack and defense, that will be good. So when he faces 2 or more enemies, maybe you drop that down to attack and defense 100%, but he still gets that minus 50% damage reduction. I think that would be a really, really good build for this guy. So he could definitely be very, very solid in Super Battle Road. So let's go ahead and move on. I've got a lot to cover here, so I'm going to try and go as quickly as I can. Birder. So let's go with kind of the canon, right? He is quote-unquote like the fastest in the universe. So let's go ahead and we'll make him... Let's not make him raise defense. Let's make him greatly raise defense and cause supreme damage. Again, keeping in mind his low stats. And again, we're going to have to change up his passive quite a bit as well. Attack plus 10% per key sphere obtained. High chance to evade enemy's attack as the first attacker in the turn. Now, I don't know exactly how you're going to phrase it. I don't know how you do that if you are Akatsuki. But get rid of that he has to attack to get the dodging. Just give him a 70% chance to dodge. That is the easiest. That's the easiest solution here. Get rid of that first attacker in the turn. Or if you want to keep it as the first attacker in the turn, he needs to get extra stuff in the second and third slot. So he needs to get like damage reduction or guard when he's in the second or third slot. He's got to get something like that. And then, of course, he's going to need a little bit more attack and defense per key sphere obtained. Let's say 20% attack and defense per key sphere obtained. And if you're running a full Ginyu Force team, he gets an additional 10% attack and defense per key sphere obtained. I think that would make this guy a really, really good option for like other teams too. So he could still be useful on something like Dragon Ball Seeker, Special Pose, even something like Space Traveling Warriors if you're trying to round out your team, you know what I mean? Or, hey, this Planet Namek Saga. You know, again, when we go over all of these units, you're going to find out, I'll show you at the very end, this is basically the whole entire Planet Namek Saga. The Planet Namek Saga is so small in Dokkan. So let's go ahead and move on. Jice. Now, this guy is probably the most interesting one. He's just like, he's the support unit of the group. So if we look at what he does, causes supreme damage to enemy and raises allies' attack by 20% for one turn. So he's one of those types of units, sort of like God Topo and other units like that, where he's raising all allies' attack, a little modest 20% attack buff. Go ahead and raise that to 30%. I feel like that seems appropriate. That would be consistent with today's meta, or you could raise it up to 40% if you wanted, if it's Ginyu Force. That would be kind of cool, if it's a full Ginyu Force team. And then, he needs to do something with defense. So he needs to, let's make him, oh boy, let's make him raise all allies' attack by 30% for one turn, and then make him just stack defense. Like, let's go ahead and make them all relevant for, like, you know, short events, long events, mid-range events. Let's go ahead and do that. Obviously, he needs to keep that scouter ability. Obviously, the best asset about him. He needs his own passive. So, obviously, he's supporting Extreme Class Allies, Key 2, attack 20%. Make that all Extreme Class Allies, Key 2, attack and defense. Let's say Key 2, attack and defense 40%. And then give himself, let's just say, attack and defense 120%. That seems pretty appropriate to me, right? So obviously there's a lot of room. Like, you can do whatever you want with these units. Their passives are so bare bones, but they've got a little bit there. There's a little bit of a skeleton of how good they can be. This guy is built relative, well, maybe not exactly right, but he's built kind of like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken or something like that. He needs a little bit. This guy is probably the worst of the bunch, in my opinion. So this is Raccoon. So Raccoon, I know they're going to probably keep that greatly lowering defense, or maybe he'll massively lower defense, but let's at least make him greatly lower or massively lower attack as well. You can make him one of those units, but he just needs a bit more. Just give him, like, defense 200%, and then make him build up attack with each attack received up to 200%. I think that makes him so much better, right? And then if he's greatly lowering attack, again, it makes him good on a lot of these other teams as well. You know, rounding out some of these teams, like I mentioned, Special Pose. Like, Special Pose gets a monster buff after the Worldwide Download Celebration, right? That's one of the worst categories in the game. But with the Ginyu Force, if you make them actually all good, that's a huge buff. That's huge. So Goldo. Goldo, believe it or not, one of the more useful members of the Ginyu Force, considering he's the most pathetic one, you know, in the saga itself. So he's got this medium chance to stun. Again, he needs to do something. Make him raise attack and defense. You could even say raise attack and defense for one turn. You gotta raise that to a high chance to stun. I feel like at the bare bones minimum, high chance. If you wanted to say great chance, I wouldn't be mad at you. So then, again, attack to enemies, attack and defense minus 20%. He needs a little bit of attack and defense himself. Let's just say, considering he's the weakest of the bunch, give him attack and defense 120%, and then just say all enemies attack and defense minus 20%. And just don't make it for a turn restriction. Don't make it attacked enemies. Just make it all enemies. So kind of, sort of similar to, like, STR Omega Shenron or something like that. I think that would make Goldo, you know, relatively useful in something like Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and move on to the other two. So my prediction, again, I don't think it takes a real, you know, rocket surgeon to figure out that probably these guys will get their Extreme Z area, and then maybe in part 2 of the celebration, these guys will go ahead and get their EZA. Now, this unit right here is actually not the worst in the world. So if we look at what they do, so greatly raises attack for one turn, causes colossal damage. raises extreme class allies attack by 30% for 1 turn. So pretty good, right? I mean, that's at least good. Like, they'll be able to hit kind of, sort of hard at the rainbow level. So, but again, I think that they're going to have to do something with the defense part of all of the Ginyu Force, right? They're going to have to do something with the defense. They just cannot even hold a candle in today's meta. So I think if you just make him greatly raise defense on his, and then raise extreme class allies attack by 30%, do that on his 18 key, and then just make him, let's just say, greatly raise attack and defense for his 12 key. I think that would be a very good, I mean, look at that. I mean, my guy's not rainbowed yet. I have not prioritized this guy, and I don't quite have enough battlefield currency to rainbow him. I could pick up 2 dupes, but I still need 1 more after that. So again, this guy functions as a support unit to the team. Extreme class allies attack and defense 30%, and then Ginyu Force allies getting an additional attack and defense 20%. So if you get this guy, his EZA, this guy becomes a lot more useful. Even just like after SA25, give him a little bit more on his passive. Give him attack and you could say attack and defense 66%, because they love to do that, you know, the 666 thing for extreme class units. You can give him attack and defense 66%, and then extreme class allies attack and defense 30%, and then give him a little bit of key too, just say 1 key or 2 key, and then Ginyu Force can get an additional attack and defense 30% and 1 key. I think that would be a really, really good build for this guy. Again, the Ginyu Force, they all function very well together, linking up very well, supporting one another. Like, they're all, like, really good. Or excuse me, they have the potential to be really good. They're a functional team, right? They just need stats. They need a little bit more on their passives to be actually relevant. So this guy, he does the same thing, except he's raising allies' defense by 30% for 1 turn. I like that. That's a good ability if you can get them their 18 key super attack, considering they're giving themselves 3 key. And then again, you're running them on a full Ginyu Force team. It's not that hard to get them their 18 key super. Believe it or not, this unit, being able to raise defense by 30% is actually still useful, right? Because you got the high LR stats. 15,000 on the defensive stat is incredibly high. So you can go ahead, if you wanted to go crazy, make them raise all allies' defense by 50%. That would be really, really cool. And then maybe just make them raise defense themselves on their 12 key. They've got to do something for their 12 key. Maybe give them like a ceiling effect or a chance to stun. That could be cool. Key 3, attack 777 for all allies. So go ahead and do Key 3, attack and defense 30% for all allies. And then, of course, they're going to need a little bit of attack and defense themselves. So you could just say attack and defense, 100%. That seems like a pretty good round number. You don't have to do anything too crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think here, like, you could give them some specialized abilities, like, super effective against all types against this category, guaranteed crits against that category. That could be kind of a fun thing for the Ginyu Force, right? So again, the Ginyu Force, man, they've got some potential here. They've got a skeleton here, and I think that they could be pretty good. So let's go ahead and move on to some other units. I think there's no question about it. This guy's getting his EZA. If you guys will recall, I believe, I don't think you could even farm this guy. I think you just got him from participating in the 3-year anniversary. I'm pretty sure. So, leader skill a bit irrelevant. Just make him like an all-types leader, HP attack and defense 77% or something like that. And then, obviously, 3 key. So he causes supreme damage to the enemy and raises defense by 30% for 3 turns. Just make him greatly raise attack and defense for, 6 turns, 9 turns. That would be fun, right? Make him on par with, some of those other units like the Bio Broly Trio. Make him good. Remember, when these guys get their EZAs, that's it. There's no more getting better, right? So you want to make them relevant at least for like the next calendar year or so. So a lot of these units, like, you need to make them, like, good. You need to make them really good. So until we get new, obviously there are a lot of other Gokus that this guy is competing with, but this guy is specifically on the planet Namek Saga, right? So again, raise attack and defense by 120%. The less HP, the greater the stats boost. Fully recovers when HP is 10% or below. You got to raise that HP threshold a little tiny bit, my boy. Maybe make that 50%. That could be good, right? A nice 50% heal. That could be really... That would actually be really solid. And then attack and defense 120%. And then give him an additional sliding scale of the less HP remaining, the greater the stats boost, up to an additional attack and defense 120%. So he would perform very well at low HP. At the very least, he's got a niche, right? So I think that could be a good look for him. And then if you give him attack and defense 120%, he's at least still a little bit useful. And then if he's greatly raising attack and defense for 9 turns, or maybe even just permanently, that makes this guy incredible. So again, moving on, let's go a little bit faster here. I'm going as fast as I can, I feel like. Final Form Frieza. So Final Form Frieza, real easy. This guy's Planet Namek Saga, you know, HP, attack, and defense 150, and then key 3, easy peasy. And then you can keep that AGL leader skill if you desire. Slap on a medium chance to stun on his super attack. I think that could be a really, really good idea for this guy. Usually you don't want units with just a chance to seal. That's kind of annoying. Give him a medium chance to seal and a medium chance to stun, similar to LR Babidi and Boo. Right? They have that ability, and I feel like usually when they're attacking, they have a very good chance of at least doing one or the other. So 2 separate 30% procs. Attack and defense 80%, nah, you gotta buff that. Attack and defense 180%. How about that? How about that? Give them a little bit more. This guy needs a little bit more oomph. Attack plus 70% and a high chance of stunning the attacked enemy when facing only one enemy. I like that. That's fine. Key 5, attack and defense 50% when facing 2 or more enemies. If you give him just a little bit of start of turn, attack and defense, I think this guy is good. You know, usually on these AoE units, you could give him a raise of defense if you wanted. But I feel like the chance to seal and stun is good enough. Remember, these guys' stats, the LRs, their stats don't increase, but these guys, their stats will increase a little bit too. So, you know, if you want to make them raise defense on Super 2, I'm not opposed. But again, you could definitely maybe make, instead of just attack plus 70%, attack and defense. I mean, that could be good. And then key 5, attack and defense 50% when facing 2 or more enemies. Maybe up that a little tiny bit. You know, maybe attack and defense 100%. I think there's actually a fair chance that this guy could get his EZA. Like, if we look at the Dokkan Awakening medals, right? So this is Namit Goku. This guy came out with Namit Goku. This guy's solid. I still like this unit a bit. I need to grind his links up. I need to grind a lot of these guys' links up. So we won't spend too much time on these other units. So these guys awaken, if you guys will check here, from the 250 million download Frieza and Goku, who I do also have on my little short list of units here. So if we look here, greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. Obviously, I think that's the play here. Attack and defense 80%, buff that up to 180%. I'm telling you, that seems like a lot, but it's going to make them relevant, and actually, I dare say good, right? It'll make them good for at least a year or more. And then an additional attack plus 100%, you can go ahead and leave that, because when you buff it after the initial stats buff and everything, that's going to shoot up a lot. This guy is still pretty capable at like level 10 big bad bosses and stuff. He's still relatively capable of hitting hard. Like he could, you know, level 10 links and stuff like that, I'd wager he could hit a 4 million attack set or something like that. Same thing with this Goku, a very similar sort of structure to this guy. Remember, awakening from the Goku, right? The Goku, 250 million download celebration, Goku. So again, greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn, supreme damage. I'm completely fine with that. That works. Attack and defense 180%. I think that's it. And then go ahead and give him an additional attack and defense up to 120%. You go ahead and leave that. That's great, dude. That makes him really, really good on the stat increase and everything else. So again, another unit I've literally never even touched. Like, I've used him a couple times on my previous account, but he hasn't been relevant in so long. The 250 million download celebration, so last year was the worldwide. The year before was 300 million. So the year before that would have been so he's 3 years old, right? His Dokkan Awakening was 3 years ago. So obviously they just need a bit more. This guy here, the Super Saiyan Goku, man, he's kind of interesting. He's like the OG revival unit, technically. Attack plus 90% survives KO attacks when HP is 20% or above. It's pretty good, but then he just goes back to 1 HP, I'm pretty sure is how that works. I've never actually used him. But again, he needs the leader skill's a bit irrelevant. Just make him an all-types leader. You've got AGL, Tech, and STR. Just make him all-types, dude. That's so pointless. And then you can go ahead and do key 3 attack, HP, attack, and defense 77%. I think that would be good. Greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn. Why don't we make him greatly raise attack and defense for 3 turns? And then attack and defense, he's going to need a little bit of start of turn defense. I don't know, man. What do you think? Attack and defense 120%? 150%? Maybe. And then again, if you're giving them greatly raising attack and defense for 3 turns or 6 turns or something, that'll start to add up. And then go ahead and give this guy that survives KO ability, but give him a heal. Give him a full, like, not a full heal, but maybe give him like a 50% heal or something like that. That would make this guy super useful in Super Battle Road. And then maybe give him guaranteed crits or guaranteed stuns against Extreme Class. That would be really, really cool. Make this guy pretty good. So, you know, there's not much to this guy, right? You could legitimately do anything with a lot of these units. Now, this unit, I actually don't think. There's been a bit of speculation he could get his EZA. I really don't think so. There are so many summonable LRs that need it more than he does. So this is full power Frieza. Actually, one of the LRs I have completely rainbowed. If you wanted to, you could. You could go full power, key 4, attack, HP, attack, and defense 150%. That's definitely what they would do. Get rid of the dumb sacrificing 8 HP. Give him raising defense on 12 key. Give him greatly raising attack and defense on 18 key. That's what you do right there. That is what you do. And if you're going to make him sacrifice, dude, 8% HP seems like not a lot, but it is. It really, really is. Get rid of it. Or lower it to like 5%, 3%. The whole idea is like you're playing into his passive where he's getting more and more attack when you get less and less HP. I do understand that that's what they're doing there. But like just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. And then of course you can raise all of these things. So he gets key to attack attack and defense 80%. Go ahead on all of these parts of his passive. If you were to give him defense as well, I think this guy gets a lot better, right? And then again, on SA 25. And remember, he also has Mega Colossal on both his 12 and 18 key. This guy hits ridiculously hard even on his 12 key. Just keep that in mind. This guy still does hit hard. You definitely want him next to another Frieza unit, though. You definitely want him next to a Big Bad Bosses unit. No question about that. This guy's a different unit next to a Big Bad Bosses unit, for sure. On a zillion categories, he's got quite a good link set. That over in a flash link is interesting, but that's just like a full power Frieza thing. I kind of wish he just had shocking speed instead to make him link up a little bit better on the Planet Namek Saga, but it's okay. I get it. So are there any other units here that I'm missing? Oh yeah, these two, again, I don't think so. This might be for next year, I feel like. Remember, these guys are not tied into the Planet Namek Saga. These guys are like ROF. Like, I don't really understand where the speculation is. I honestly don't really get it, like, where it's coming from, why these... I do understand that, like, First Form Frieza and Super Saiyan Goku, they are from, like, Planet Namek, I suppose. Like, especially, like, First Form Frieza, for sure. He's from Planet Namek. But I don't really get the speculation here. I really don't even want to speculate on what they would do, but I guess if we had, because there's just so many forms. I think in a nutshell, they need to, if you're going to make them stop, remember they stop stacking defense when they get to their final forms. They absolutely have to. If you're going to make them stop stacking, they have to greatly raise attack and defense every turn up to their final transformation. And then maybe make them greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. I think kind of like that is how Vegeta is built, right? Where he does at least raise defense on super attack, albeit not infinitely. So, but there is one more unit that I wanted to kind of go over a little bit. This guy. I think this guy has a very high chance. Very, very, very high chance. I know he's a little bit newer than those last 2 units. I feel like this guy has a very high chance of getting his EZA during the celebration. It's very, very simple what you do with this guy. So he raises all allies' attack by 30% for 1 turn. Just make him raise defense. Just infinitely raise defense. That's what you do. Very simple. Very, very simple. And then remember, again, he's getting SA 15. He's getting a stat boost. That's going to be significant, right? He's going to stack up defense very quickly on those big stats. Attack and defense 77%, plus an additional attack and defense 15% with each attack received, up to 59%. I know this is going to sound wild and crazy. I'm telling you, man, you could go as high as like 177%. You could. Keep in mind like what Tech Ultimate Gohan does, right? Tech Ultimate Gohan, when he transforms, he's attack and defense 158%, just boom, right there. And he can get up to 2 additional 58% attack buffs. So, and then he can, of course, be, like, super effective against all types and stuff like that. Like, I know that that seems incredibly high. It's not. Like, that will make him relevant again. This guy is really good. Like, it's kind of weird. This guy is pretty good. It's weird. Like, he seems to almost low-key get a little bit worse. But look at that sticker effect. Oh, my God. It doesn't get much better than that for a sticker effect. He low-key kind of gets worse in this form. So we didn't talk about his leader skill. Just leave it. Like, you don't have to do anything with that. You could just make it 170 across the board, and I think people would be happy with that. You kind of like what they did with, you know, UI Goku. Or he's 160, I suppose. Just make him 170, fuck it. Don't do attack and defense 170 and HP 160. That's dumb. Make him raise attack and defense infinitely. I think that that's how you fix this guy. Raise attack and defense infinitely and give him permanent guard. And then I think that this guy is really, really solid. And again, you could go attack and defense 180%. And then you could just go, if you didn't want to go as crazy with the defense, you could like lower it to, you know, 120% or something. But why, dude? He's fucking Super Saiyan Namit Goku. This is the most iconic Goku in all of Dragon Ball. You know, don't at me, man. It just is what it is. He is the most iconic one. Make him the best TUR in the game, man. I'm telling you. Do it. Do it. Dokkan, do it. And then remember, he gets that one-time attack buff. Or it's not one time, but he gets hit once, and then the rest of battle, he gets it. So, instead of this medium chance to guard, just make him perma-guard. Leave that high chance of performing a crit for 3 turns when guard is activated. Just you know, he'd basically permanently have a high chance to crit. That's fine. That's completely fine. That makes him really, really good. That makes him borderline best TUR in the game for sure, with all of those things I just mentioned. So guys, I mean, realistically, that's it. So that's kind of more or less what I wanted to go over. Real quick, I wanted to interject, like look at the Planet Namek saga, how bare bones it is. So like, if you take away everyone I just mentioned, that leaves you with like 2 units. Like legitimately, this guy was just like a random reward unit. This guy is a World Tournament unit. Again, this guy is the random reward unit. You know, this guy already has his EZA. Same with this. Like, the Planet Namek saga is so barren. Like, if you EZA'd almost everyone on the category, it's like, boom, you finally have a category that's worth running. Let me know what you think of my ideas in the comments below. If you've made it this far in the video, slap a like on it. And of course, consider subscribing if you happen to be new. I love all of you guys. Let me know what your predictions are for some of these units. You know, the sky's the limit for a lot of these units. You know, power creep is ridiculous. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, and I will catch all of you in the next one. Later.